And all of a sudden we are back at sea, collecting data, experiences, and new friendships along the way. With only 1 week behind us, a lot has already happened. By now, boat and crew found their way to Pula, in Croatia, where we met up with some old friends, learned more about shark nurseries, giant clams, seagrass, and habitat loss. And we managed to get an incredible look behind the scenes of the aquarium in Pula, by the owner herself. Already on the way, we started taking sound recording with a hydrophone. So, if you ever wondered what a very quiet night on anchor sounds like below the surface, this is the sound of mooring buoys on a heavy chain. We take 5-minute recordings in 3 and 5 meters depth to evaluate the sound pollution that marine organisms are constantly exposed to. In every anchorage we stop in, the crew is also running transects. That means we run a 50-meter tape from shore out to sea, recording the bottom substrates, dominant species, biocenosis, and of course the depths of the transitions. While the data collection itself is usually the fun part, the data entry into spreadsheets also became a part of the daily routine.
The way they've done it, which I think we're going to continue for convenience sake, is number each transect. So like today, all of our samples would be from transect number 55, and you just have multiple points along that for how many like data recordings we did. So we would write 50, like all of these would be under transect 55, but we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And even on the transits, we keep busy. At all times there are 2 lookouts, either on the bow of the boat or in rougher conditions in the cockpit. While the aim is to spot marine megafauna, most of the recorded observations were of plastic until now. While it is not entirely surprising, it certainly is not a good development to watch, as every piece of plastic has a distinct impact on the environment, and ultimately ourselves. The big pieces might be the ones that we get to easily observe while underway, but we also picked up plankton trawls by paddleboard and started looking for microplastics in those samples.
Oh wait, what did you say to me? Do we have a sample out and ready?
And once we arrived in Pula, all of a sudden the daily routines were put on hold, and visits, meetings, and more learning experiences took their place. We also had the privilege of meeting up with some of the people who have worked in this area for many years and witnessed all the changes firsthand.
I founded this kind of marine school. It is primarily for education purpose, but the last years we developed also little scientific programs. I founded this before 21 years now. Manuel was one of my first co-workers.
Long time ago.
long time ago. So.
We will see and hear more from Gerwin and his team in the future, but yet another highlight of the week was our special tour in the Aquarium Pula that Milena, who is the owner, gave to us. And everyone had their favorite part there as well.
I really like the behind the scenes at the start, seeing like what I do all in the background with the laboratories and everything, and also of course the turtle nursery. And I got really impressed by the jellyfish.
I think it was really cool to learn about. Pinar's showing me the picture of the octopus I bonded with. That was my favorite animal for sure. But more generally, to hear about this kind of new aquarium that's working to do conservation and rehabilitating animals to be released back into the ocean rather than just keeping them for viewing from visitors in the aquarium, I think is really cool. And so hearing about European aquariums starting to work together to send healthy organisms back to the sea is really cool.
The evolution lockdown, where you could see all the phases of the Earth. And my favorite animal was the octopus eating the fish. That was really hardcore.
My favorite part was the rescue center because I saw one of the biggest turtles in there, and it was really impressive. And it's also really nice to see them recovering. And she really knows, Melinda, the owner of the aquarium, she really knows each animal and all the stories about these animals. It's quite a memory, you know. There's many animals living in that place, and I think she's pretty good.
For me, I really like the way the aquarium turned out. Like, I've been there years and years ago, and it was sad to go through there. And now the tanks are bigger. There's a lot more happening in terms of a little bit of research and also the conservation, the turtle sanctuary, or turtle rescue station, the cat shark nursery. So there's lots of cool stuff happening in the background. And what really blows my mind every time you get behind the scenes of an aquarium is the amount of work and effort it takes. Like, they're breeding the plankton, they're breeding tiny crustaceans, there's eggshells of cat sharks, there's the nursery for the clownfish, there's so many things happening behind the scenes. And basically the aquarium is really twice the size of what you see as a visitor. And that's just all the logistics that it takes in the background. And if you think about the amount of people it takes to run all this, and all that while you're building your aquarium in a beautiful fortress, which is slowly crumbling because it's really old, it's insane how much work goes into this. So that's always interesting to see.
So that was just a few of the things that happened this week. But you will see more about all of this in the coming days and weeks on our social media channels. Make sure to check back in a week, because we are soon setting out again, working on the giant clam assessments. We learn a fair bit more about seagrass loss in the Adriatic. And we will have a good look at what exactly it is that makes the Adriatic Sea so special in a variety of ways.